Hello, in this video I'm going to take you through one of the more valuable tools that I use as a sales and marketing strategist. And I'm sure that you, wanting to do more and more marketing in your business, you too will look to use some of the abilities that are on offer with this service. So this service is called Upwork, and you find it at upwork.com. Ultimately, you'll log in or you'll sign up for no money and you'll register as a member. And this is where you get in-demand talent on demand. And this is where basically I go, and I go to another site as well. This is where basically I go to get help with my sales and marketing. Understand, I know what I want to achieve, and that is your role too. You should know what you want to achieve with the sales and marketing of your business. But sometimes your time is best spent on your business, and it is best use of time to outsource it to people who know the specifics about what you're trying to achieve. So at a place like Upwork, you can get a lot of people to help you with web and mobile software development, design and creative. I use them quite a bit for this. You can get them to do quite a bit of writing for you. I use them for this. Sales and marketing, we're going to talk a little bit more in depth, but that's some of the things I do. You can also get admin support, customer service, data science and analytics, and engineering and architecture. I have to say I haven't used them for this. So that's Upwork. There is another service called Fiverr. Now Fiverr I use quite a bit as well. Fiverr is based around the fact that for $5 you can get anything done, although nowadays it's very little. You're generally spending more like $15, $25, $30, but that doesn't particularly matter. But if you want a quick logo, you want some help on your website, you want some voiceover work, social media work, etc., you can get it done here at Fiverr. And sometimes it's worth comparing the two. The difference is at Upwork is you post your job, and then people nominate or subscribe to get your job, and they'll send you a proposal. Whilst on Fiverr, it's different. People say, well, this is what I will do for you for $25, $30, $40, $50, whatever. And then you say, okay, I'll buy that. All right, so it's a bit different. On Upwork, you post the job and people apply, whilst on Fiverr, there are things for sale and you buy. And you'll see by using the two which suits you. But generally, like in my life, I actually use both of them. So specifically on Upwork, and let's see what the sales and marketing side of life and services are. So you can get marketing technical work, you can get digital marketing work, and this is something I use a lot. So, you know, we've talked in earlier times about how to do Facebook advertising or how to advertise on Google AdWords. And as much as you need to know what the big picture is and what you're hoping to achieve, not a lot of you, and certainly not even myself, want to sit down and do each and every one of the steps. I find it better, and I find it better for my clients, to appoint someone who is a specialist in this area and ultimately just generate me the right types of leads. I also use them a bit for content marketing, some website work occasionally. I have had video production done. I have had translation done, and pretty good as well. I've not had much in the branding and research. I've had a bit in branding, but not so much in research. And I have used them for sales collateral. So how it all begins is you get yourself a profile, and then ultimately you post a job. So this is my profile here. These are the types of jobs that I've got open or I have been using, and you go to here and you would post a job. So let's say in this instance here, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So then it says to you, let's create a new job post. Is it a short time or part-time work, or is it a dedicated long time work? I always go for this, but I often convert people to dedicated long term. But I always start short, because my attitude is I like to trial people. Sometimes I'll even pick 2 or 3 people to do a cheap job and then find out which of them is the best. And then I work with them on a far more lengthier basis. So I always start small, test people out, and then get bigger. and keep the job open and keep giving them more work. I'll show you what I mean by that in a little while. So we'll click this one saying it's short term. Now, if I already had a draft job description, I could click edit an existing draft job description, or I could reuse a previous job post. I mean, that's up to me if I happen to have them. Let's just go as if I'm going to write a new one. So we'll click continue. So then you've got to put your job name. So let's just call it test job for now. And then it asks what area is that job. Now it's picked up testing, so it's kind of saying, it's giving me some ideas. So maybe what I should put in here is like Facebook marketing, given this is something a lot of you are likely to trial. So if I click that, that should then give me yes. So let's say what I want, social media marketing, digital marketing. We'll go with social media marketing for now and click next. Now it asks for a description of my job. Now, I know that if I don't put in script, Sean, if I don't put in more than 50 words, it won't let me progress. So we'll just play a little trick on the system here at the moment. Obviously, you're not going to do this. You're going to put in a very lengthy description. And the more length you add to your description, the better the applications that you get. Now, you can look up here and it'll give you some sample descriptions that you can find, but it's always best, and I'll show you how I do it in a little while, to just write it genuinely what you need. Now, if you need to upload any files, pictures or whatever, you can do so here, and then you click next. Now, they ask here, is it a one-time project, ongoing project, or a complex project? I go for one time, as I've said to you before. Then it says, do you want to put in a screening question? Well, you might go, do you speak English as a first language, if that's something that's important to you? Or you might want to ask, well, what football club do you barrack for? Probably not. Whatever you may, you can put in a screening question. To be honest, I don't generally do it. Then it asks, what skills would you like? So, social media management, I see that as important. Yeah, I want to know what they're like on mobile and desktop, but it really doesn't matter too much. As long as you click what you think's appropriate to your job. Then you might go for anything else like, Google AdWords. Yes, I probably want them to know about that. Do they understand Instagram? Do they understand Facebook? That's probably good enough. But don't worry if you don't click all these, because as the applications come through, you can work with them in more detail. Then we go to next. Now, who do you want to see the job? So what you can do, like in my case, I invite people that I've used before and I only want to use them again. Or if it's your beginning, then often you go for anyone. You get applications from anybody. And then it asks, how many do you need for the job? One or more. I always put one, even though I may give the job to more than one person. And then talent preferences. I don't think we need to worry about that. We just click straight on. Now, they want to know, am I going to pay by the hour or by fixed price? Now, this is the part of the art of using Upwork, and the more you use it, the better you get at it. Because the problem is, being in Australia, what we pay people is very generous than what you need to pay people on the world stage. Now, I know if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, but let me tell you, in some countries, you get highly, highly qualified monkeys who are far better than the peanuts that you pay big dollars to sometimes in Australia. So I'm not in the business of trying to exploit people, but I am in the business of paying fair price for fair conditions and for fair work. So what I like to do is go pay by the hour, and then when they ask for level of experience, I'm not interested in entry levels, and in most cases I prefer experts. But sometimes I find going intermediate, what happens is the experts apply for the job, the entry levels apply for the job, but the quality of person sitting in intermediate is generally very, very good quality. And then they go, how long do you expect this project to take? I normally go 1 to 3 months, even though often it's less than a month, but I'm just going to put that for now. It really doesn't matter. You're not locked in as far as this is concerned. And do you have a time requirement for this project? I always go with I don't know yet. It just seems to open up my parameters a little more. Click next. So this is where you review your job. So it's here, blah, 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 blah. And then you get down to posting your job now. So we've left everything quite open. We're saying, actually, I've made a blue there, that I didn't want to pay by the hour. I wanted a fixed price. So we can edit that, go back to here. Now, of course, it's going to ask me, what is the fixed price? Now, this is where the art is. You've got to put in something that's going to attract good clients, but not something you want to lock yourself in that's far too expensive. So if I'm looking for a Facebook specialist, I know that the going rate is around about $350 Australian a month. For better people, you might be paying $500. For experts, you're definitely paying that amount. You could be paying up to $2,000-$3,000. But I also know you can get people to do this for $50 a month, but they're not going to give you a great job. They're going to be lousy. So I know that through trial and error. However, you can work that out, and I'll show you how we do that. So let's just put 300 in for now and update. All right, so that's and then I would go and post the job. Now, obviously, I'm not going to post this job because I don't have all the details. But let me take you to a very similar situation where I actually did post the job for a social media marketing. Did this one a year ago, roughly, and you can see that I'm quite comprehensive about what I put in. That's my description. I was asking them to work on 2 clients. So I put in $1,000 fixed price in this instance here, and so on and so forth about the job. I also invited a pile of people that I liked the look of in the search to apply for the job, and you can see that they all applied bar 1. Then I got 10 proposals, of which I shortlisted them to 8, and this gives you an idea what the proposal is like. All right, so this guy has applied for the job. He's from the Ukraine. You can see he's put in a cover letter, and then I can see the rate, how much he's earned, get an idea, and I can see what his client testimonials and feedback are like. So he's had a 97% success rate on his work, so he's rated quite highly, as an example, right? And then ultimately, I messaged 11 of them. So what I do now, this is part of the secret. Now, I'm Australian, and therefore, as much as I don't like to admit it, I do use Aussie slang, or often I use my sense of humour. And to be honest, if I'm going to develop a relationship with someone, I want them to be able to communicate with me. Some of these guys who put in applications from certain countries put them in, but all they've done is use Google Translation. And in truth, they can't speak our English as well as I'd like them to for some of the jobs I want. So to test them out, I just send them back messages going, got your proposal, I love it. Hey, I'd like to organise a Skype call with you to shortlist you to see what you're like. And see how they respond. And when they respond with something, I go back with another question. And I ask 3 or 4 questions. Now, I have them all on the go at the same time, but I keep asking questions until I'm convinced that they, number 1, understand what I'm asking, and number 2, I think we can work with each other. And that is part of the category for me then ultimately shortlisting. And once I shortlist them, I actually do interview, for a job of this nature at least, on Skype and book them in, and we have a chat about the particular job, and I get to pick their brains and see what their ideas are like. And as a consequence of that, I normally do that with about 3 or 4 people, and then ultimately I'll hire the one. And once I hire the one, it sort of goes on from there. This was the guy that I hired. I now work with him a lot, I must say. It was a very, very successful hire, and he does a lot of the work for me. If you have a look at the quality of his application, it was pretty good, and it got me interested. And once we started doing the Skype call, there was no turning back. Let me give you another example. This is even better. This particular person, it was a creative writing job. And it's for a product I'm working on, Frida Kahlo, the Mexican artist. And I needed some background done. Well, this particular client, or this particular consultant, not only did she put in a proposal, but she actually wrote a beginning to it. An iconic artist who overcame many issues, blah, blah. Oh, no, sorry, that was me. My apologies, that was me. Let's actually look at her, her application. Have a look at this. Her cover letter sold me, basically, and it turned out to be a great hire. But straight off, she's gone, rather than talk about herself, this particular person has come up with Frida had facial hair, one leg shorter than the other, a fractured spine, and yes, a unibrow. She was a woman. So she gave me a teaser of what she was going to write as part of this particular job. Needless to say, I gave her the job, and needless to say, it turned out very, very well. Now, once you find one of these consultants, if they work well for you, then what you do is, like I do with this particular consultant. This particular consultant here, if you actually have a look at what we've done, I opened the job way back when, started on a $15 trial, and she's now done 34 jobs for me. I just keep the job open, and this is how I pitch the job, right? I do it like this. I say, actually, apologies about that. Let me go back. I do it like this. Go to the messages, and I go something along the lines of, where we go. Hi, hey, Elliot, can you please do a book type image for, this is a client of mine, 2 downloads, so that I can use them as per the picture attached. In other words, I needed to replace that picture. She says to me, sure, can do it for $15 for the 2. Do you just want the first page of the ebook, or do you want new covers? And because she did these ebook downloads, she was able to send them to me. I said, look, keep the first cover and give me something slightly different. She said, fine. I put $15 into trust. She goes ahead and does the job, sends me the job. I download the job. I said, look, it's not quite right. I need them a little bit larger. So she goes, yeah, no drama. Here they are, larger files. I go, thank you. I click pay the money. She says, thank you. I said, well done. Leave the job open. And I'm obviously going to use her again. That's how easy it is. All right. So Upwork, I hope you found this video useful. I highly recommend it. And I look forward to sharing some other resources soon. Bye for now.